something or someone was flying that plane.
There was this strange, but awful smell.
But then I know what I'd seen. I trust the evidence of my eyes.
So we started to dig, and we unearthed an entire fleet of U-boats and their crews.
What happened, happened.
Which, as you may remember, lost radio contact in 1943 and has not been heard of since. Not until today.
It was a stench, like the very pit of hell itself, you know.
Hello. You know us as popular variety artists, but what you probably don't know about us is that there's something about us that nobody knows.
We're not at liberty to tell you what it is, other than the fact that we are investigators of the paranormal, working for a government agency that officially doesn't even exist.
In fact, officially, we're not even here talking to you now. I've already forgotten what Jack just said, and I suggest that you do the same. We're standing here in a forest clearing in Dorset. Why?
This clearing is close to the village of Dormant Stir, often called the paranormal capital of the world.
Incredibly, Dormant Stir was awarded the title of Best Kept Village in 1982.
More incredibly, Dormant Stir lies on the intersection of 17 ley lines.
Not only that, it won the regional cream tea contest in 1990 and has a thriving pub quiz team community.
Yeah, although none of them are any good, as we found out last night. Much more importantly,
if you do find yourself in this neck of the woods, why not pop into the delightful Norman church?
Much more importantly than that is the fact that Dormant Stir boasts the highest per capita rate of paranormal incidences in the West Country.
And these are not sightings made by someone fanciful or irrational.
Like a girl.
Many of the spotters here with us tonight are ex-army people, round tablers.
People who aren't easily taken in by beggars. People who have their own tankard at the pub. Good blokes and they're good ladies.
Earlier today we visited dog breeder and keen walker Dorothy Prescott, and she told us what she saw.
I've always been a very sceptical person, never had my palm read. Not what you might call one of the Jack Kerouac crowd. I do like jazz, but really only Kenny Ball. So, you know, I said to myself, hello, old girl, you're going off your rocker. But then I know what I seen. I believe the evidence of my eyes.
Miss Prescott, can you tell us what it is that you saw?
Well, this is it, you see. I mean, I did see it. It's easy to dismiss things as a trick of the light or hijinks by some teen, but I can honestly say it was there. What happened, happened.
And can you tell us what happened?
Well, you wouldn't believe me if I did. You'd think Dottie's been at the sherry, and I'm not really a drinker, you know. From time to time I enjoy a glass of British wine with my evening meal, but never enough to give me indigestion.
Miss Prescott, both my colleague and I...
My nephew's doing very well at university in Hull. I think he's doing estate management, and he gets indigestion, so possibly it's a family thing. Now, would you like tea or coffee? You can have either, but if you want coffee, I shall have to make a special trip into town to buy some.
Tea, please.
Tea, please.
Milk, sugar?
Just milk.
Black, please.
Oh, very continental. Don't you find that gives you indigestion?
Miss Prescott, what is it you saw?
That'll be the tannin.
What?
Plays havoc with the esophagus.
Oh, come on, wasting our time. Stupid.
Thanks very much. That's really all we need. Thanks. Bye.
But don't you want to hear about the time I had sex with the Martian?
Well, from one ancient ruin to another.
These stones provide a fascinating study for students of the impossible, because they're of a kind only found in this area.
Now, we already know from Stonehenge that in the olden days, builders were very, very fussy, making pointless trips abroad to find needlessly huge stones, which they would then break up so they could send them back here in diplomatic bags every Wednesday, until they had enough bits to build an entire thing.
Now, it's all very well for professional cynics and archaeologists to say, where's your proof? Well, shut your face, because here it is. It's a paranormeter, and if I measure these stones, I get a 7, which is very high indeed, because it only goes up to 8.
give you some idea how powerful that is. A reading of 2 is enough to cause a dog to prick up its ears and run out of the room whimpering like they do in films.
You're probably wondering why there's a bonfire burning here tonight. Well, I'm not at liberty to tell you, apart from the fact that similar bonfires have been lit tonight all along the main ley line between here and Glastonbury to create a landing strip for alien spacecraft, which we confidently predict will be landing here tonight. More than that, I can't say.
What I can say, if you viewers can take any more in the way of notable facts about this bonfire, is that this site is where witches were once burned. Who knows what ghastly scenes were witnessed here.
Ha! So perish all those who do hold commerce with the father of lies, consigned to the agonizing flames of eternal damnation.
Wherefore hast ye summoned the Witchfinder General to this parish?
My lord, divers signs and portents most unnatural to behold hath lately been observed. A shower of blazing frogs did descend upon the church steeple, a newborn duck did prophesy in strange tongues, and the blacksmith hath fornicated with a goat.
Unclean proceedings indeed.
Aye, my lord, for he is lawfully betrothed to a sheep.
And who hath witnessed these abominations?
Well, no one witnessed them as such. It was more a sort of vision that I had. And then I did behold a mighty host of cherubims, and seraphims, and terrapins.
Terrapins? That is a troubling vision.
Aye, my lord, the work of the evil one is afoot.
Afoot?
Aye, and the terrapins did cry out that a necromancer was amongst us, and did lead me to the dwelling of a foul and loathsome dame of this parish.
And what maketh this dame so foul and loathsome?
Well, she's single for a start.
Ah, yes, for if a woman do not receive carnal satisfaction from a man, her lewd and saucy cravings do lead her to congress with the evil one.
Aye, for many times she hath refused my own advances.
And who is this lustful vessel of corruption?
'Tis young Nessie Bodyshop, the herbalist.
Blasphemy. The cunning extract of plants from distant godless lands shall not relieve the natural chastisement of womankind in her sin. Such stinking potions are the devil's piss itself.
Wait till you try the orange and geranium shower gel.
Where now is this vile satanic mockery of womanhood?
I have her here, my lord, in safe custody awaiting trial.
Something tells me you've got a pretty good idea which way this trial's going to go.
Now, it's very easy to poo-poo or wee-wee things you don't understand. 10 years ago, people didn't even believe that the Channel Tunnel existed, let alone that it would be the hugely safe and profitable success story that it is today.
It's all very easy to laugh at cranks and inbred rustics, but this man is a former officer in the RAF who, in his own words, flew giant metal birds during the Falklands conflict.
Flight Lieutenant, do you think it's a coincidence that...
So let's just recap there. He's not some meths-crazed vagrant. He's a pucker bloke. Jeremy.
Flight Lieutenant, do you think it's a coincidence that you were retired on a huge pension after claiming to have witnessed sinister military experiments carried out by Elvis Presley?
Well, all I know is I saw what I saw. I'm a plain man, I speak my mind, and that doesn't take very long.
Tell us then what it is you saw.
Well, I was on this bombing mission over the Ruhr Valley.
When was this?
Ooh, 1972?
So some 10 years, then, before the Falklands War?
Oh, yes, yes. I had this feeling in my water. Call it a premonition, call it something with a perfectly rational explanation. But whatever it was, something or someone was flying that plane. Could have been me, can't remember. God, maybe, or aliens, doesn't matter. But I could feel the old crate being pulled towards the Bermuda Triangle. I found myself in Atlantis. Thought I'd have a shufty around. Couldn't really see what all the fuss was about, so I took the old bus back up again. Fokker on my tail. Shook him off, only to find dinosaurs ruling the Earth. Well, I radioed control to see if they'd noticed anything untoward. The queer thing was that no time at all had elapsed since I left Narnia. And then I woke up.
Do you mean all this was a dream?
What?
Do you mean all this was a dream?
Could have been a dream, couldn't it? I mean, it sounds like a dream. I have had some very strange dreams recently. Only last week I dreamt I was an extractor fan. But I can't sit around here gossiping all day. No, I must pootle off and do the raffle. Well, my brother married a Methodist, fine cook, drinks like a fish. Did you know swans can break your arm? I could never master the grip.
Well, here we are inside the working belly of a spaceship, but don't worry, we haven't been abducted.
No. This computer-generated image of a spaceship has been animatronically recreated using the many tens of reports we've received from a man in Poole who's been abducted so many times the novelty's worn off.
Yes, if only our alien friends would realize their abductees do have places to go and people to see. Some of them have to get up in the morning.
But anyway, let's take a look at what our boffins are convinced a spaceship might look a bit like. All sorts of knobs and levers here. Wonder what this one does.
Well, who cares? Well, it's probably the teleportation transmission.
No, well, I wonder how that works.
Well, theoretically, you transform the macro waveform of your object in infinite dimensional phase space and then collapse your probability distribution function at the appropriate space-time coordinate.
Oh, well, let's take a look at the kitchen area. This is where they can make themselves cups of tea and coffee, and as you can see, their tea is green.
What makes you think they have tea and coffee?
Well, to help them stay awake on those long flights. Probably have instant coffee, of course, because that's modern. Now, here we've got biscuits, green biscuits. I actually made these myself. They're just macaroons with a little bit of green food colouring there. Now, very important on any long journey is your first aid kit. And, of course, the plasters in this one are green. Now, I've got some stinging nettle spray here, which can help prevent that very nasty rash that you sometimes get. Although, personally, I find a dock cleaf can be just as good.
Jeremy, they're hardly likely to be trampling through nettles as they speed through the galaxy.
Well, the bandages will be quite useful.
Bandages aren't much use if you've had your arm melted off by a Star Warrior's blast laser.
Well, sorry, you obviously know much more about it than I do.
Yes, and these wouldn't be here. This area is kept much tidier. The whole thing's run on military discipline. 1 foot wrong and you're shoved in an airlock till your whole body squirts out through your ears. That's what it's like in space, Jeremy. It's not about biscuits.
Thought you liked macaroons.
I used to. I don't like them anymore.
Well, sorry I can't keep track of your changing fads. I suppose macaroons aren't with it anymore.
Yeah, well, wise up and have a look at this.
What is it?
It's a recording of alien television, picked up by our satellites in outer space. It provides a unique insight into their culture and civilization.
Oh, this must be the alien equivalent of one of those home video shows where children hurt themselves and all the grown-ups laugh.
Stars in their eyes. Well, this is this I do you. I rates nothing of glossy and it's a fun.
Tonight, Matthew, we bring up Mick Hacknell from Simply Red. There with Miss Murph,
Mick Hacknell from Simply Red.
You're probably wondering what on earth we're doing in a car. In fact, we're hot on the trail of a happening so sensitive to national security that we have to be blindfolded so that we can never drive there again.
Bloody bureaucracy. It's because the frontline crop circle bobbies like us are constantly hamstrung by the pen-pushing, red-tape Nancies of the Ministry of Defence.
Not them, obviously, Jack. Just changed that name in the interests of national security.
Caroline, tell us about what's been happening.
Well, it was just little things at first, you know. There was this strange, but awful smell. It was a stench, like the very pit of hell itself, you know.
You mentioned these keys. Tell us about them.
Yes, keys started appearing in the toilet. We found sandwiches in the video recorder. Cold cups of tea all over the house.
Have you got children?
Shh. Jeremy, this is important. It's okay, you can carry on. You can cry if you like.
There were these strange pen marks on the walls. And the contents of my handbag I'd find had been strewn all over the living room floor.
Caroline, could I just stop you for a moment? You don't happen to have had a baby in the last couple of years, do you?
Yes. Oh, my God. Well, you don't think that he could be in some kind of danger as well, do you?
No. What I mean is that you'll probably find...
Of course he could be in danger. Oh, look, I better sleep here tonight.
Oh, no, that won't be necessary. My husband will be back soon. He's a gladiator.
Is he? Which one?
Steroid.
Oh, he's useless, that one. Look, I'll tell you what, I'll give you my card. And if there's anything you need, just give me a call. Anything at all. I won't bring Jeremy with me next time. He doesn't understand women the way I do. I'll bring the kid up as my own.
It's now a well-documented fact that there is indeed a big scary beastie living in Loch Ness.
Less well-publicised and even more controversial are the mysterious goings-on at Dormant Stir Reservoir. Earlier today, we investigated.
The whole community here has been torn apart by arguments about sightings of what has been christened the Dormant Stir Reservoir thing.
Some say it's a large feral cat, others that something's escaped from a sinister animal laboratory. Others still believe that a marine dinosaur survived the Ice Age and has come to live in these waters. Whatever it is, it's large enough and vicious enough to eat a whole man, leaving behind only this.
Mr. Gordon, you're the security guard in charge of this so-called reservoir. Perhaps you can explain what on earth has been going on.
Yeah, well, we get all sorts of rubbish thrown into the water.
Isn't it true you've been to prison?
Well, yeah, of course it's true. I'm a security guard.
OK, fair enough. Carry on.
Well, I was just saying that people throw all sorts of rubbish
into...
into
Isn't it true that one of your pastimes is bombarding ordinary tadpoles with radiation to create giant man-eating amphibians?
Is your mate a loony or what?
Oh, how easy, Mr. Gordon, to dismiss the improbable out of hand. I too thought Jack was mad until this turned up.
Well, what is it?
I think you know, Mr. Gordon.
It's a shoe, Mr. Gordon. One of thousands found on top of bus shelters every year.
All right, lads. You've had your fun. Time to go now. Come on, off it. Go on.
Oh, I suppose we're off the case now, are we? That's very convenient.
I suppose the federal boys are taking over the investigation, are they? We're meant to take a few days' leave, is that right?
You need help, you do. You're sick in the brains.
It's all right, they've gone now. Can we chase some joggers?
Oh, don't make me do it again.
Just one more time. 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 Just one more time.
Well, here we are, continuing our investigation into paranormal activity around Dormant Stir, and apparently we've had a very exciting breakthrough.
That's right, yes. We were scanning this sector here, when suddenly the scanner lit up like a Christmas tree. So we started to dig, and we unearthed an entire fleet of U-boats and their crews, which, as you may remember, lost radio contact in 1943 and has not been heard of since. Not until today.
Really?
No. We found fuck all.
Wow, notice how he changed his story there. Obviously somebody got to him before we did.
In our marquee behind us is renowned hypnotist and end-of-pier entertainer Simon McConnor. Now, as well as being able to make people think they're sitting in a red-hot chair...
Oh, it's hilarious when he does that.
He's able to regress people to their former incarnations. We decided to really put him to his test and arrange for him to meet guitar legend, actor and reformed Hellraiser Jimmy Hard. Now, Jimmy, I want you to look into my eyes, and I want you to continue to look into my eyes until you feel a little bit tired.
I have to say right away, Simon, you've got your work cut out for you. I'm very sceptical about all this new agey stuff. I went to see an acupuncturist about me aggression, and as she tried to push the needles in, they just snapped because I've been stabbed that many times. My whole skin is just one mass of scar tissue. And I went to see a reflexologist, and he said that my reflexes were so fast that...
Can you hear me, Jimmy?
Yes.
Who is there with you?
Why, me, Kitty Maguire, prettiest girl in Alabama.
What year is it?
Why, it's 1860.
I do declare you're a strange Yankee gentleman not to know what year it is.
Where do you live?
Why don't you ask a lot of questions? But you're mighty cute. I'm only gonna charge you $5.
Is there anybody else there with you?
Only me.
Who are you?
Why, Bessie, the milkmaid.
What year is it?
Why, 'tis 1907. You must be the squire's son back from Oxford. Ain't you grown up into a big strong boy? Perhaps you can help me with my milking. I do pull and squeeze, but nothing spurts out.
Is there anybody else there with you?
Happy birthday, Mr. President.
Jimmy, I'm going to click my fingers, and when I click my finger, you're going to wake up, and you won't remember anything that's happened.
And I tried colonic irrigation, but I still couldn't grow anything up there. Did something happen just then?
No, I just couldn't put you under.
Well, you can put me under any time.
Oh, Christ, what have I done? Well, we've borrowed one of our UFO spotters to help with an experiment in thought transference. Now, Colin, you've done a little drawing. I want you to take another look at that and concentrate on that image while I try to duplicate it using telepathy. Now, I see a shape. I see lines, straight lines. That's what I'm seeing, connecting. It's coming to me. This is what is coming to me. I don't know what it is yet. It's just coming to me. There's something like this. Well, no, that's it. That's what I've come up with. There we are. So Colin, let's have a look at what you've drawn so that we can compare the two and see just how well. Well, of course, thought transference doesn't take into account fancy university types like you, with your charcoal and your beret and your sparkling conversation.
Oh, come on, Jack, it's only telly.
Well, they make me sick, all these stuck-up county posh gobs. It's all crap. None of it's true. It's kid stuff.
Jack, you're overtired and fractious. It's been a long day.
Ah, Presley. How are your experiments going?
Man, I just want to do my own thing, baby.
Well, that is the worst Douglas Bader I've ever seen. Carry on.
No. No.
Don't worry, it can happen to anyone. Let's just lie here and stay close. Which one is your penis, anyway?
Right, that's it. Total waste of time. Absolutely pointless. Nothing happened because nothing ever does happen.
Just past the witching hour next Friday, it's a late supper with Jack and Jeremy, posing as outrageous chefs at midnight.